What is going on, people? Back with another video, and this video is going to be a little bit more personal than usual. I want to give you guys an insight on things that's been going on with me for the past 3 months, and I really want to share this with you guys because I'm almost certain that a lot of us are going through this. A lot of us have these issues. A lot of us are ignoring these issues, and I want to let you know that a regular guy like me that just plays video games, loves watching sports, and just a regular guy that goes to a 10, 12 hour job a day can do this. So I want to talk about this. So back in April, I wasn't feeling really good. Probably even before then, I wasn't feeling good, but I was just ignoring the signs. And my wife told me, "Hey, look, you need to go to the doctor, whatever the case may be," because I had all these crazy symptoms, which I'll talk about in a second. Um, so I went to the doctor, and she was wanting to do some blood tests, which we all should get tested. As far as your health, let your sugar levels, your cholesterol, and all that other stuff. And I haven't done it in years, and I wanted to get that taken care of. So um, I went to go do that, and I realized that I was type two. I had type 2 diabetes, and I also had very high cholesterol. And I knew that something was wrong, and I'll tell you why about my symptoms. I've always had like a very lethargic feel to my body, but I know I got a lot of sleep. I was always thirsty. I always wanted to drink some type of fluid, and this is the thing, it wasn't water. I wanted to drink like anything, sugary stuff, anything just to just continue to intake some type of fluid, which should have been water. But I was always thirsty. I've always had an issue with my weight. I mean, I wasn't like like super big or anything like that. If you see in my videos, but I've always had an issue with my weight where it just didn't. I wasn't able to carry it properly. Like I couldn't walk for a long period of time. Like and for me, I was an athletic person. I've always had an athletic background. Always done things on the football field, basketball field, baseball field. But when I started driving trucks and really driving trucks when I wasn't really using any physical activities, that's when it started the carry on. Like there were times where when I used to sleep and I used to wake up and like all like the left side of my body was like really in trouble. Like I mean it just didn't feel right. I felt like my nerves were going out. And kind of find out that it was probably somewhat my body was fighting a stroke or whatever. It probably what that's what it was. And I told my doctor about it, and she was like, "That probably what it was, but you can't rule. We're not, don't want to rule that out or test it right now, or whatever the case may be. But you probably was dealing with something of that nature." I've always had this issue where my left side of my body was tingling. I had an issue where my feet were tingling. My mouth always felt dry. I was always out of breath. All this other stuff. So those are like the symptoms that I had. So I realized I was type 2 diabetic and I had very high cholesterol. Now, I just posted this on my Facebook and my X account because basically what happened after doing so much work, like I've been working out, you can probably see like my shirt is like, it's sweaty because I'm still working out on a daily basis. I found out that I was diabetic, but I reversed it as of July 3rd. So I went to the doctor, got my checkup, and everything was reversed. So I want to show you what it was before and what it was after. So here's my window capture. Here is my stuff on here. I don't like have. I mean, I don't really care about you know uh giving out this type of information. I mean, I don't want like my personal information out there, but I wanted to show you my numbers because this is what it was. April 3rd, I found out I was diabetic. July 3rd, I reversed it, as well as lowered my cholesterol. So this is what it was right here. The A1C was, I don't know if you can't see the mouse, but it was 6.6. It was pretty high. I mean, in that area, if you're over 6.4, you're diabetic. And I'm luckily I didn't get to the glycemic control area where I had to, do finger sticks and all this other stuff. But I knew something wasn't right. I was not feeling good. And as of July 3rd, it knocked it all the way down to 5.4, where I'm not even pre-diabetic. So I did that, and I was able to knock that out. Also, I don't know if you can see this. I don't know if it'll pop up, but let me see. All right, there it is, right there. Let me see if I can move this over just a little bit. I want you guys to see this, so you guys will get an idea of what's going on here. All right, there we go, right there, perfect. Okay, so blew up this picture right here. The total cholesterol was in the 220 range. That's up there, says total cholesterol. And that's in the 220 range. Let's see, there it is. Total cholesterol is in the 220 range. That was really high. It's supposed to be at 199, and the triglycerides was at 151. That was slightly higher. Now, the normal value for your HDL is supposed to be like 30, over 36. But I mean, it was over 39, but it was low. It was at 36. It's supposed to be at 39, and all the other stuff. My LDL was really high as well. I can't remember what was the thing on that, what that was supposed to be. Uh, but it's high. It's showing you that it's high, and this is what it is now. My total cholesterol went down to 182. My triglycerides is down to 176. So that is from, you see it right there, from 220 to down to 182. The triglycerides is down from 151 to 76. My HDL was low at 36. It's supposed to be above 39. It went up to 41. My VDL was at VLDL was supposed to be at 28. That didn't move much. It's still, it was at 28. It's down to 14. And now my LDL is still a little high. It's at 127, but it was at 156 at one point. So that's where I am now when it comes to my numbers. So the main thing is I was able to eat differently. I was able to work out consistently, and I was able to pretty much change my lifestyle, is what I was doing and what I was eating, and basically the way I was thinking as well, because a lot of stress can get into this realm as well. So I want to look. I'll show you on Facebook. See my weight, because I don't have my weight over here on X. So this is my weight right here. This is not necessarily accurate, but I use my watch right here to show what this is. But nevertheless, at one point it says March 8th, I was at 220. By the end of March or the middle of March, I was up to 223. I was up to 223 at one point, but it never was necessarily tracked on this watch. 'Cause like I said, the watch is not necessarily accurate. You got to put in the information on your watch. But I know at one point I was at 223. I think like 223.5 or 223.7 or something like that. That was like in late March. I mean, yeah, late March. But by the time I figured out what I needed to do, um, uh, let's see. Oh, I can't move it right here, but it says from here I'll move down to like 214 or something like that, or about the next node right here was like 217, 214. Then I got down to actually 214.7, and I moved all the way down. And by the time of 7/3, which is July 3rd, I was down to 193 and some change. So basically I moved from 220.5, which that's not necessarily accurate, because by the end of March I was up here about the 223 mark, but nevertheless 3 pounds. But as of now, I'm down to 193 as of July 3rd. So that's what I did there. But I want to say this as well. Listen, this is a serious issue. I know a lot of people here don't necessarily come to this channel for this type of stuff, and I know that this is something that I really don't talk about on either one of my channels. But it's not. I'm not here for that. But at the end of the day, this is a serious matter. I know a lot of men, especially men, go through stuff like this where they feel something wrong, but we keep pushing. We feel something ain't right, but we keep going. And we gotta provide for our families. We gotta provide for ourselves. Nobody's gonna be here to save us but ourselves. But with that being said, we have to make that change. We have to make a difference. What I will do is when I go live later on today, I plan on going live. We're gonna be talking about some games and stuff on my regular on my gaming channel. I will go into more in depth of this where I tell you what I ate, what I watched, what I did, and all this other stuff, and why it was it's very important to do some of the things that I did. And I really didn't want to talk about this until it was done. I didn't want to let people know what I was going through. I wanted to just focus on getting it done, and then once I'm done, once I get to the level that I'm at, then I can talk about it because I felt like my message will resonate better if I've actually done it instead of just talking about it and people rooting for me, which is great. But I needed to focus on this for myself, not only for myself, but for my wife and my son. Let them know that I can accomplish this, I could do this, I could push this, and I'm able to make things happen if you just put your mind to it. I just feel at the end of the day, this is was something that was really personal but important. But I wanted to spread this to others so you guys can actually know that you can do this. Like I said in the beginning of this video, I'm just a regular guy that loves to play video games, love to watch sports, go to a regular 10-hour shift of work where I drive trucks. I'm just a regular guy. I'm not anybody that's on YouTube trying to show off a persona of all this other things. I just love this hobby, and at the end of the day, that's all what it is. So, this video will be up on both channels. If you haven't already, go to the corresponding channel where you can go to subscribe. Like if you're on VF Sports, go over to VF Cast. If you're on VF Cast, go over to VF Sports. If you don't mind, if you haven't subscribed to the either or channel, I really appreciate it. If this is your first time here, I appreciate it that you made it here, and I appreciate you making it this far in this video. I will be going live later on where I talk about this more in depth as well as the other stuff, but that will be on my gaming channel. I talk about that. I go live every Saturday on that channel, and I'll briefly talk about this as well as the other topics of the gaming world. As far as VF Sports, we will be back to regular programming. Football season is about to start. Basketball season is still somewhat revving up a little bit with all the draft and all the free agent moves. And Georgia Southern football always. We're gonna be talking about that as well. So that Falcons, Hawks, we're gonna be talking all that on the other channel. We'll be on the gaming channel. You already know what we do over here. So we'll talk about all that a little bit later. Thank you guys for making it this far. I really appreciate it. Just take care of yourself. Take care of your health, not only for you but for others in your circle. It can be done. It's not impossible. All you gotta do is push forward and do it. But we'll talk more about that later, and we'll get into that. All right, y'all. Y'all be easy. Y'all be blessed. I'll see you later. Peace.